everybody. Welcome to the Ncw Mvp interview series brought to you by Career Connect Washington and the Apple STEM Network. I'm Carrie Horning, your host, Career Connected Learning Specialist with the NCESD 171. Our goal today remains the same, to introduce our community partners throughout North Central Washington to each other. And a win looks like each of you leaving with a greater understanding of the work being done by those partners, especially the ones that we're highlighting here on the Ncw Mvp, and how you might get involved. So sit back, grab your lunch, and get ready for an extra dose of professional nourishment. This is the last episode in this round, so I'm sad to say that, yet I'm super excited because today I have the pleasure of speaking with Mandira Vermani, Director of Program Development for Computing for All. Welcome, Mandira.
Thank you, Carrie.
Sure. I'm so excited to have you here. So Mandira and I have had the pleasure of working together in some of the same orbits with Career Connected Learning and the work that she's doing as an intermediary. And she reminded me as we were prepping for this meeting that we had a terrific conversation about our mothers, both who are forces of nature and always, put their children and families first, but never cease to really kind of get it all done. Strong, confident women, which I just thought really that conversation was perfect. So fitting because today actually ends up being International Women's Day. So yeah, so we can say, hats off to our moms. I think that we both have a lot of gratitude for the example that our mothers set for us, and recognizing that, still carries forward today, into the work that we do. So that was very fitting. I loved that we had that conversation and it landed on today. So, all right. So Mandira, as I always do, are you ready to start this?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. So tell us about Computing for All.
Yeah, so Computing for All is a nonprofit organization. We were founded in 2015, and we started with an initiative focused on computer science training for kindergarten through 8th grade students. But there was this growing demand for tech jobs in Washington state. So we pivoted to providing training for young adults, in the age group of 16 to 24, starting with our pre-apprenticeship program in software development in 2019. So we are a Washington state sector intermediary and a program builder for IT and cybersecurity for the Career Connect Washington initiative. As you know, that's the governor's initiative. And we sit between government, between employers, K through 12, and college education to build career pathway programs for career connected learning in high school and community colleges. So as part of this work, we work with employers to understand what is their demand for talent and the skills that they need for IT and cybersecurity jobs. So, over the next 2 to 5 years, we map that talent against the available programs in our state. And then we look at the gaps, and identify, well, these are the areas where we need to either create new programs or we need to scale existing programs to meet that employer demand. And really the end goal is to grow participation of students who are furthest from opportunity into those programs. So with that, we have developed high school career pathway programs across the state, in Yakima County, in Grant County, in King County. We're working with community colleges to provide internships and professional skills development for students in IT degree programs. And we also provide digital literacy workshops to a wide range of participants in partnership with the Seattle Jobs Initiative.
Nice.
So I hope that gives you an idea.
Yeah, a lot of work being done there for sure. So okay, now that we kind of know a little bit about Computing for All and what you do there, what's the overall mission?
Yeah, so our mission is really to connect young people to careers in information technology while advancing their education. We want to help those who are furthest from opportunity to get a leg up, so they can get on a path towards a living wage tech career. The three of us who are in CFA leadership, all women, we came from a background in industry where we were often the only female and person of color in meetings. And we got into this work because we wanted to help change that. And we wanted to bring diverse voices to the table. Carrie, I always give this example. We use feminine products. Would you want feminine products to be designed by males? No, because they wouldn't know the needs of women. That is a great example of, bringing those diverse voices to the table. So
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. And I know we're going to get into it a little bit more as we work through, the interview here. But with that exact comment, we actually have a series of events coming up called Tech and Tiaras for just that reason, to get the younger girls more involved in computer science. So, we're right on the same path, which, I love that. Okay, so you mentioned it already. As a sector intermediary and a program builder, can you share with us a couple of those programs that Computing for All is actually working on right now?
absolutely. So we have our data center technician career pathway program, career launch program. So Sue Kane, who's your North Central Regional Network Director, she approached us, about a year and a half ago, citing a need to build a data center technician pathway program in Grant County. And, there are employers such as SABI data centers, Microsoft, H5, NTT, a bunch of them are building data centers in Grant County because the region offers inexpensive hydropower. It's got, a strong network of broadband infrastructure and a climate that really is conducive to building and maintaining data centers. But there's a shortage of qualified local entry-level IT professionals to support those data center operations. So our program provides a much-needed pathway to Big Bend Community College's IT Systems Administration Associate degree, and really provides training for rural students in that area to find employment as data center technicians at these local employers. So we are really excited about this program. It started fall of 2022, so that's last fall. We actually started. We offered the first course in high school, in the Quincy High School. So we are really excited, and we are gearing up to get our students into internships this summer. So so stay tuned on more for that.
Yeah, that's terrific. And I have to say, go Jacks. I'm a Jackrabbit. That's our local high school. So
that's right.
Love that program is housed right there. So, okay, so the data center tech program, but you've also got a pre-apprenticeship program.
That's right. So our pre-apprenticeship program in software development is our oldest program that we started 4 years ago. Believe it or not, in person. What a concept. And then, of course, COVID hit and we had to go remote. So we offer it now over Zoom. But that is fine, because what it's allowed us to do is to get students from a much wider geographic location than we could before. It's recognized by Labor and Industries in Washington State. It's a year-long program in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, really the basics of front-end web development. We partner with community-based organizations to recruit students, and those include JUMA, SYEP, King County, CYYA, Boys and Girls Club. And we realize that we have to provide students to these stipends to these students. Otherwise, they would not be able to come and take our training. They'd have to go work, some other type of job to support their families. And a big pillar of our programming in this particular program is engaging with employers. We bring employers into our virtual classroom as speakers, as mentors. We have them help students with hands-on project work. And then outside of the classroom, we have them provide worksite tours, job shadows, and internships. So we're helping students not only build the technical skills, but also the professional development skills that they need, like communication, teamwork, problem solving. Help them network with these employers, build connections, give them that confidence so that they start to see themselves in these roles.
Love that. That's excellent. The soft skills are so important. So, okay, a quick question though on that. If part of our audience could be students, part of the audience could actually be educators. If there's a student who's interested or an educator who knows of students who are interested, how can they get in touch with this program?
Yeah, they should just reach out to the contact us form on our website, www.computingforall.org, and drop us a note, and we can help get them connected to the right place and the right program.
Great. And when this is all over, again, we package this up real nice and share out the link, and I'll make sure that Computing for All's website address and all of that is linked in. So if you're watching this and you want to get in touch with Computing for All, it'll be very easy. We'll make sure that's accessible for you. So excellent. Okay, so these are amazing programs, whether they're longstanding or whether they're fairly new, like the data center program. This is my favorite question to ask. I know that in the middle of these podcasts, anybody who's joining us, most of the people might be multitasking. Maybe they're eating lunch or answering some emails. So I like to kind of grab at their heartstrings a little bit and remind them why they're listening. So can you share with us a success story of, one of your participants, that you're able to share? Is there something there that you've got?
Absolutely. And I have so many stories, Carrie, but one especially comes to mind. We have a student, Albiona. She and her family came from Kosovo in Albania some years ago, and she joined our pre-apprenticeship program. She came from a family where her, father lost his job. He didn't speak English, and especially during COVID, they were really hard hit. She has 5 siblings, so there are 6 siblings and 2 parents, and 8 of them, were staying in a 1-bedroom apartment during that time when he lost his job. So, she's had a lot of hardships. She's had to miss class because she had to take care of her siblings. Mm-hmm. So, but despite that, she was in the honor roll in her classroom. She really spoke up in our class. And through our program, she got an internship at Microsoft, which really gave her a lot of confidence, networking, programming skills. And she last fall started at the University of Washington. So we are just so excited to see, the success that she's having. And I know there's lots more to come. And she credits our program with helping her to become fluent in English. So that story really speaks to my heart.
I love that. And you know what, I think too, I maybe mentioned this as we were preparing, but that's a similar story. You're on the other side of the mountains, we're over here in Central Washington, but that is a similar story as to what some of the kids face here, some of the students face needing to care for younger siblings and things like that. So that's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate it. Okay, so now again, looking at who our viewers might be, the educators, the students, some other community partners or industry partners. If somebody wants to get involved with Computing for All, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, we're always looking for volunteers to serve as mentors or speakers or hands-on project coaches in our classrooms. So go to our website and just contact us and tell us what you're interested in. And if you're an educator and you're interested in learning more about a program, same thing, just put in the message field what exactly you need. And same for students. If you're looking for a program, you could do that too. And we're always, looking for employers to help us with internships, job shadows, things like that. So if you're willing to host a student, tell us. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said before, that I kind of packaged this up and sent it out. We're all over those employers wanting to, expand the apprenticeship program and internship programs and job shadows. So thank you for mentioning that as well. That's awesome. Okay, so this is one of I guess the results of 2 fast talkers coming in. We've blown through the majority of this interview already at lightning speed. So I want to kind of make sure that we take a deep breath and dial back to, is there anything else that we want to share today that maybe we didn't get a chance to discuss yet, or that we skipped over just, because, so excited and passionate about this, we spoke so fast.
I think, I mentioned some of these things, but really, if you're looking to build a program in IT, or you don't even know where to start, and you don't have a pathway in your school, or you have a few, but really your employers are telling you we need, X type of skills, come talk to us, reach out to us through our website. Same thing, if you're an employer and you want to figure out how to plug in, reach out to us through the website. And students, If you're looking for internships, you're looking for professional development opportunities, you can go to the CFA job portal from our website. It's called the IT jobs portal, and, look at what the current offerings are and apply to those. And, we are really sort of building a structured program across the state, Carrie, to help students, educators, and employers plug into all of these, different programs and systems for how are we going to fill more of those IT and tech jobs that our employers, are looking for. And I could mention, since we have time left, that we are part of the initiative with CCW and WASAC, which is the Washington State Achievement Council. We won a federal grant. It's called the Good Jobs Challenge Grant, which we'll be working with over the next 3 years to place, people who are dislocated, who lost jobs during COVID, who want to upscale into those good tech jobs. So we are really going to be working across the state and with workforce boards, with, education employers, with all of them to do that. So it's not just youth, but it's also going to be, adult dislocated workers. So that is really exciting. And again, would love to work with all of the different networks, across the state. And, I always like to end with, like, students, the sky is the limit. So don't shortchange yourself. There's so much you can do, and there are so many opportunities. Another story I should share, I recently went to Renton Technical College for a career engagement fair type of thing a couple of weeks ago. And in talking to their faculty, this has stayed with me. He said, my class, I have a student, a running start student who's, like 16 years old. And then I have a lady who's 60 years old, so look at the gamut, that I'm working with here. And another professor told me that 2 of the top students in his computer science class are 2 mothers, who are, who have their families, but they're so committed to their work. So really, it goes back to our mission to bring these diverse candidates into these tech jobs. That is why I joined this work, and I really, really believe in that. So, yeah, so help us in making that happen.
Yeah, I love that. Talking about the sky's the limit and, who the potential students are, I think that's amazing for us to share and then for others to hear, because oftentimes when you say the words tech or computer or IT, it freaks people out. Oh, I'm not techie, or I'm not a computer person, but you could be. Just don't let those words define or scare you away. So that's a brilliant message. I love sharing that out. Somebody say who's my age, a mother who's sitting in the class, I think we're, keenly aware that time's going to pass anyways. So if you have this idea or this thought or this interest, you might as well pursue it, because whether it's a year or 2 years, or maybe it's even less than that, that time's going to pass. You might as well make the most of it. So
that's Carrie, to your point. So when you say that, when a student or someone might say, oh, I don't know that I, can learn, a tech path or whatever. There are many different careers in tech, and you don't have to be a coder or a programmer. You can be in UX design, you can be in digital marketing, you can be in technical writing. There are so many roles that you could be doing. So you don't really have to know how to program. And the other thing that I always say to students, including my own young daughters who are in college, who are not following a tech career, is that any field that you go into, you are going to need to know some amount of tech skills, especially around data analysis, data collection and analysis, because every field they're going to want to know, well, show me the data in order to make decision X, Y, or Z. So you have to be somewhat conversant with the basic technology skills.
Yeah.
And that's what even organizations like code.org, they are trying to do that, by introducing an hour of code in, to get all students to take that, just so they remove that fear and, just make people realize that this is okay. It's like learning basic math and science and English, basic computer science, everyone's going to need to know.
Yeah. That's a terrific message, and it just reiterates everything that we're doing. Even, here in Central Washington, absolutely, we've got the computer world, the tech world, but we also have agriculture and hospitality and aerospace. And that's exactly the message that we're getting across to our students, or trying to, is that you don't necessarily have to dig in the dirt to be a farmer. You don't have to be a pilot to be in aerospace. You don't have to be a doctor or a nurse to be in healthcare. It runs the gamut, again, of all the different careers. So that's an important message. And I thank you for bringing that up, because it is, a message that we're trying to drive home. And I want to back up just a little bit too. You were talking about some of the different skills, and that's another component to career connected learning that we're talking about often, both with the teachers to say, hey, call these out, and to the students to say, you need to know these. I've referred to them in the past as, what's your superpower, but those soft skills. So for this industry and for the work that you're doing, can you highlight maybe a couple of top 3 of the soft skills?
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up, Carrie. So we have talked to countless employers, and the number one thing that they tell us is make sure your students have professional skills, or the soft skills, right? They often will tell us we can give them the technical training, but it's the professional skills. And, the ones that kind of come to mind: communication and teamwork, problem solving. I guess those would be kind of my, my top 3. And like, for example, in our programs, we try to do exactly that. Like in our pre-apprenticeship, we'll bring the employers in, they really work with students in small teams as they're working on their projects, encourage them to collaborate in teams, how to communicate more effectively. We'll offer interview workshops, just for mock interview sessions, and resume and LinkedIn and all of those as well. So that they really, and, I want students to feel like they're not alone. They've got a whole support system working with them. You just need to ask. We are all like really helping prop you up for your success.
Yes.
Your teachers, CFA, CCW, that's why these programs were created. So I think professional skills, very much a component of all of these career launch, career prep programs.
Yeah. And, just to reiterate your statement that, we're on your side, ask the questions for any of the students that are watching. Last week, I had the pleasure of helping a student prepare for, it was a phone interview, but it was for a summer internship. So kind of a big deal in the aerospace industry here in Grant County. And we took the time to practice and go through it, but the initial phone call, no practice had been done yet. And so I gave, some of my 2 cents and some suggestions. And I said, listen, let's hang up and let's meet back here again at 3:00. You call me when you're done, but I want you to practice. I want you to practice in front of the mirror. I want you to practice while you're, sitting at your desk, or whatever's going on. Make sure that you're practicing that, but do it out loud. And when he called me back, he was spot on. And I reminded him, listen, they want you to succeed. They want you to succeed at this. And he did very well, not only in practice with me, but the feedback that I received from him, the interview went really well. And he said he was much more comfortable and confident answering those questions because he had practiced. And I know it can be goofy, doing it in a mirror, answering your questions and asking your questions in the mirror. But those are the practices that build those skills that we're telling you as students are so important. So thanks for kind of solidifying that.
Yes, you are totally right.
All right. Well, listen, I think we did a pretty good job here. I think we covered a lot of information. I want to thank you for being our final guest on this round of the Ncw MVP series. And just to remind everybody that MVP is the most valuable partner. If all goes well, then hopefully we will be back in the fall with another round of this interview series. But I want to say, Mandira, thank you again, and best of luck to Computing for All. And then selfishly, or maybe not selfishly, but excitedly, I know I get to see you again here in about 4 weeks when we're here for the Tech and Tiaras event. So
thank you so much, Carrie, for thinking of me and asking me. This was really enjoyable. And yes, I'm looking forward to the Tech and Tiaras event. It was so unfortunate we had to cancel it last year, but very excited it's back this year.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, they got canceled in 2020 because of the whole COVID
COVID,
shutdown.
that's
So
right.
we're a few years out. But thanks for coming back. And I guess for anybody who's watching this, just to let you know, and I'm looking over at my big calendar over here. We have 5 different Tech and Tiara events from Moses Lake to Omak, Wenatchee, Manson, and Quincy. So be looking at our social media channels for that. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope you all get out there and make it a great day. Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.